Hello everybody, we are back here on the Hunter Call of the Wild, and it looks like EW has went and decided to post the concept images for the brand new Great One Fox. Now, if I were to guess why they've decided to post them now instead of in a week like was originally said, is probably because, unfortunately, a cheater went ahead and spoiled one of the Fox variations, so I imagine they saw that and were like, okay, we need to get this out here. But there was one that was found legitimately as well, so I'm going to pop that up on screen briefly. This is the only known legitimate Great One Red Fox at the time of recording this, and this is the Fabled candy cane, which we will be looking at the concept image of in a little bit, but that's not where we're going to start things. We're going to start things from the beginning, and the beginning is this one right here, the Midnight Poppy. Now, I gotta say, Midnight Poppy is probably one of my favorites of these concept arts they've shown off, because it just looks so cool. I mean, look at that. It's a black and red fox. That is super awesome. Or I guess technically black and orange, but still really pretty regardless. I'm a huge fan of this. Next up, we've got the Rosebud Frost, which is looking very nice as well. It's not as cool as the first one in my personal opinion, but I think it's still a very nice variation. I think it looks quite pretty. And then we've got the Peppermint, which the Peppermint kind of looks like a silvery gray and white. I really like that. I think this might end up being one of those ones where it looks much better in-game compared to what we see here on the concept image. Because, you know, looking at this concept image, it's not my favorite as of now. But I've got a good feeling that it could be crazy looking in-game. Next up, we've got the Cherry Blossom, which is probably the most unique looking. It looks very, very different compared to the others. And I'm not sure if I like it. It's probably going to be one of those where I'm going to have to see it in-game if I really want to be able to fully judge it. Because from this image right here, it looks too pink to me personally, but that's just like a personal preference thing. I'm just not a huge fan of the super pink looking animals. Aside from like the very fine pink details on stuff like the albino Sika deer, like that's okay. But when it's like extreme like this, it's not as much of my cup of tea. And then next up is unfortunately the one that the cheater ended up exposing and spoiling to the community, and that is the Licorice. We first ended up seeing this during my live stream yesterday when we were going for the Great One Pheasant, and at the time we weren't sure if it was a cheater that posted it or if it was a legitimate one, but later on it was pretty much decided by the community that it looked really fishy, and so we think it was probably a cheater that posted the very first Licorice Fox. So it's nice that EW is releasing all of these concept arts so we can get to see them before the cheaters spoil them for us. This one really gives off like silver fox vibes. Like it is really, really cool looking. I love the kind of like silvery grays and blacks throughout the fur. Really, really pretty variation. Next up, we have probably a couple of the favorites. I got a feeling Blood Moon is going to be a favorite throughout the community, as well as the Candy Cane. I think they are going to be a couple of the favorites because, man, they look really cool. The Blood Moon is probably going to be a top 3 for me. I mean, that is just a gorgeous looking fox right there. And as for the Candy Cane, I mean, the kind of like stripes throughout it, I know why they gave it the name Candy Cane. It definitely looks like a candy cane, has that striping throughout its body, the whites, the reds, looks really clean. And then we have the Mystic Snowdrop and the Scarlet Nightshade. I gotta say, Mystic Snowdrop is another one where it looks very similar to the Blood Moon, so I think it's also going to be a favorite of the community. Mystic Snowdrop is looking quite solid, but the Scarlet Nightshade is probably my favorite or second favorite out of this entire bunch that we've just looked at. I mean, that is a beautiful fox right there. It's got the speckles throughout it. It's got the kind of like lighter colored oranges on the chest. It's got the black. My gosh, that looks incredible. And plus, if you look at the face, it's got green eyes. It's got like a little white mask on its face. Like, that is so cool. That is an awesome looking Great One Fox, and I really hope that I get that one. That would be such an awesome Great One Fox to acquire. But honestly, they all look pretty incredible. I think the only one I'm a little bit iffy on is the Cherry Blossom. I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about that. I'm really going to have to see it in game. Once I see it in game, I'll actually be able to decide if I really like it or if it's not quite as good as the others, because again, I think it's one that's going to look better in game than what we see on the concept image, because obviously the concept image, these are all drawn Great One Foxes, so it's going to be a very different when we actually get them in game. And I mean, the Great One Pheasant proved that because they looked completely different from concept to actual in-game screenshots. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Just wanted to quickly get this one out here to show you all the new variations that were revealed for the Great One Fox. Later today, I will likely be posting a video on the Great One Pheasant, because if you didn't know, we did get our Great One Pheasant. So that's going to be the next video on the channel. Subscribe if you're new, leave a comment down below, hit that like button, and be sure to hit that notification bell so you guys will not miss when I post a video on the Great One Pheasant. I will see you all in the next one. Peace!